All right, this is big time. Going to be a short one today. Just got three stories. I had to get up extra early today, get that leg session in. Second one. All right, so today's stories are we got a call for violence in Michigan. You can't tell blacks no, even though I disagree with what they were told no for, but how they handled it is how they always handle it. And then we have a defensive gun use, this time coming from a cop. So let's get to the first story. Can't tell blacks no. Michigan family sentenced to life in prison for killing Family Dollar security guard who enforced Governor Whitmer's mask mandate. Yeah, there's the psychopath, and I mean her. And you're a psychopath too if you're a psychopath if you kill someone because they told you not to wear a mask. A Michigan family will be spending their lives behind bars following the murder of a Family Dollar security guard who refused entry to one of the family members who refused to wear a pandemic era face mask in the store. Husband and wife, Larry and Charmel Teague, and Charmel Teague's son, Raymond Yea Bishop, were each handed life sentences without possibility of parole by Genesee Circuit Court Judge Circuit Court Judge Brian Pickle following the shooting death of Calvin Munerlin on May 1st, 2020. The trio was convicted in November of first-degree premeditated murder, which carries a minimum sentence of life without parole. Damn. Following the several weeks-long trial, the Flint Journal reported, Munerlin, 43, was shot in the head inside the Family Dollar store just north of downtown Flint, Michigan, 20 minutes after he had refused entry to Charmel's daughter for not having a mask. Surveillance footage showed the mother and the security guard engaging in a verbal argument, which escalated when she appeared to spit on him. Munerlin chased Charmel into the parking lot, twice tackling her to the ground. So what happened? They spit on the security guard, and then what? He chased them outside? According to witness testimony, as the family was leaving, they told the security guard that they'd be back. Context clue number 2. You tell them no. When black folks say they're going to come back, they're coming back. You're about to get a drive-by. So you should leave or get more security, armed security. In the 20 minutes that followed, call logs show that they remained in communication, allegedly to hatch a revenge plan. But every group of people does this, right? Larry Teague and his stepson returned to the store, where the father began yelling at Munerlin about how he disrespected his wife, 23-year-old Bishop then came up from behind, pulled out a gun, and shot the guard in the back of the head. Come on, post-millennial. Following a short manhunt, the two men were arrested. Charmel's daughter, Byra Bishop, was charged with tampering with evidence, so being a mammy, lying to police, and being an accessory to a felony. She was sentenced in November to time served and probation. Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. That's never going to stop her mammying. Now she thinks the system is racist. A GoFundMe page was set up by Munerlin's partner, Latrina Sims, gave an update about the real shit show of a sentencing day in court, beginning simply with, "Justice has been served." Sims added, "I just couldn't believe that at this point they still aren't accepting accountability for their actions and acting like what they did was okay." Well, that's very common in the black community. It's never their fault, remember? When they go to school, they're taught that police are racist and nothing is their fault. They're even taught that when they take a test and they fail, it's because of cultural bias, yo. You not be having no pictures of Tims or Jordans on the test, yo. Larry Teague was also charged with violating the state's executive order that mandates all customers and employees wear face masks while inside grocery stores. Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about that. That's stupid to me, especially now that we know that Dr. Lena Wen came out on CNN and basically said that masks don't work. So I really don't give a fuck about that. I mean, this governor is retarded anyway. She's just a fucking tyrant. It is important that I don't care. No, not at all. It is incredibly sad that in this crisis that this life was lost, said Michigan Governor, said the tyrant. We are mindful of how important it is that people keep a level head, that we do the right things, protecting ourselves and protecting others. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, bitch. Yeah. Not even addressing the fact, not even addressing, yeah. But people like her in charge is never going to change. Masks don't work. Especially cloth masks don't work. Not to say that an N95 respirator doesn't work, but you know, when you touch that 95 respirator with your bare hands, something sterile has to be touched by something else sterile. So when you're in nursing school or medical school, you're tested on how to put on surgical gloves. And if you don't put them on correctly, and you have to keep them above your waist, then they're contaminated. And if you take those contaminated gloves and touch your mask, you've now contaminated the mask. I don't know why we never talk about that. Anyway, Treehouse Antifa calls for night of rage on January 20th after cop shoots militant dead outside Atlanta in gunfight. Look at these stupid white people, man. Consider this a call for reciprocal violence to be done to the police and their allies. On Friday, January 20th, wherever you are invited to participate in a night of rage in order to honor the memory of our fallen comrade. Make them pay. Straight up calling for anarchy. I'm not with this. I don't condone attacking innocent people, and I don't condone attacking police officers who haven't done anything. Okay? Attacking random people or random police officers who haven't done anything, that's not the way to do it, bro. That's not the way. I don't agree with that. I don't support that. I condone that. I disavow that. Radical Antifa associated leftists are calling for retaliation after one of their grunts was killed in an incident with police near the Cop City occupying grounds where the Atlanta Police Department training facility is set to be built. I see. So let me guess. Antifa thinks that police are slave patrols, right? Another example of that genetic fallacy that never dies, or the fallacy of irrelevance. Consider this a call for reciprocal violence to be done to the police and their allies on Friday, January 20th. Wherever you are invited to participate in a night of rage in order to honor the memory of our fallen comrade. The scenes from the Atlanta Force Twitter account tweeted. The Antifa activists have been dubbed Treehouse Antifa and took to the streets on Wednesday night at Little Five Points in Atlanta and began throwing scooters. They had been holding a vigil for their fallen comrade. Oh, we got some video evidence. Thank you, Mr. Posobiec. Sure what they're saying. I'm not sure if I really care either. I mean, what did they get shot doing? Local journalist Cody Alcorn reported that forest defenders holding vigil tonight in Little Five Points after a person was killed inside forest dubbed Cop City. A state trooper was shot and is in ICU. Man I talked to said prosecutors are still in trees right now and have no intentions of leaving unless training facility is nixed. The shooting took place during a clearing operation at around 10 a.m. near an Antifa-linked autonomous zone where 6 were charged last month. An autonomous zone? No, motherfucker. Like, Georgia State Trooper was killed by a militant near the Atlanta Antifa-linked autonomous zone. Officers returned fire, killing the gunman. Last month, the @GBI_GA charged 6 militants there with domestic terrorism and other violent felonies. Wow. Interesting. Domestic terrorism. Well, maybe Atlanta's done playing. They don't seem to be done playing. I mean, the DA in Fulton County is actually doing shit. like she's trying to stop what is it, the Slime Gang, Young Thug, and all those stupid motherfuckers. Other domestic terrorists. Georgia Department of Public Safety Colonel Chris Wright said that protesters fired a shot and hit an officer, to which officers fired back. I mean, the suspect was killed. The officer is in stable condition. The identity of the trooper and the man involved have not been revealed. The Georgia Department of Public Safety tweeted at the time of the incident, "There is an active incident on Constitution Road in Atlanta in which a trooper was shot. We will provide further information once available." The Georgia Bureau of Investigation also stated that they were investigating the incident. At Jail Support has been using Twitter to raise money for the violent Antifa Autonomous Zone. Thank you, Andy No, where authorities say militants engage in domestic terrorist crimes. Today, a comrade there died in a shootout with at Georgia DPS, I guess that's the Georgia Police Department. An officer requires surgery in hospital. Oh, wow. Thank you, Andy. No, you won't hear this on CNN. 5 arrested at the hashtag Antifa Autonomous Zone in South Atlanta hit with domestic terrorism charges. Police found a cache of explosives. Leading up to the raid, militants tried to burn a man to death in a car. Man, look, man, if that's the case, I don't know what to say. Like, if you were trying to burn a guy alive, I only agree with killing somebody in self-defense. Like the Pennsylvania law says you can use lethal force if someone's trying to murder you or they're committing armed robbery, with a weapon that can cause serious bodily harm. If they're trying to grape you or grape someone you love, carjacking, then you can. I agree with the lethal force. That makes sense to me. And the best way to stop somebody like that is you put them down. That's that. And in the commission of an act of a violent felony like that, there's no question to me. But the idea of putting someone in a car and burning them to death for revenge, I can't really see that, because I'm not against like beating somebody or whipping somebody or torturing somebody to a certain extent, because at least they're still alive. You haven't killed them. That's kind of where I draw the line. I have no problem killing somebody in the act of self-defense. That doesn't bother me. Not at all. Bad guys use guns. Good guys have to use guns. And the way guns work, you shoot center mass, and that's that. I don't know what else to say. Don't commit crime, you won't get shot. But I don't know why they would set a guy on fire if that's the truth. And if that's honestly what they were doing, then, they're performing their own sort of vigilanteism. Like, again, you have to consider if the person didn't do anything at that time and a group of people forced him into a car and set him on fire, I would have to know why. I need to know more. Senator Governor Brian P. Kemp tweeted, "Marty, the girls and I are praying for this brave trooper and public safety officers across all law enforcement agencies today. As our thoughts remain with him and his family, our resolve also remains steadfast and strong to see criminals brought to justice." DeKalb County CEO Michael Thurman said officials are supporting law enforcement. It's about fucking time. DeKalb County government offers its thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery for the Georgia State Patrol officer shot today in DeKalb County, Thurman said to Fox 5 Atlanta. DeKalb County will continue to cooperate with and provide support to the multi-jurisdictional law enforcement task force charged with maintaining peace and security. So that's Antifa calling for violence. And another news, water is wet. And finally, for our defensive gun use, we got a cop. Again, in case anyone new to the channel, this link is in the description. This is the Gun Violence Archive. I covered defensive gun uses because it's our Second Amendment and we have the right to defend ourselves. Thank God I live in Pennsylvania. I don't live in New York or California. The Democrats haven't taken over yet. So that's the website I use. So you can see some of my sources. So the defensive gun use for the day is: man shot as off-duty Chicago police officer interrupts apparent robbery in Brainerd. Robbery suspect was wounded Wednesday afternoon during a struggle over the officer's weapon. Suspected robber was shot and wounded during a struggle over the weapon of an off-duty Chicago police officer who interrupted an apparent robbery Wednesday afternoon in Brainerd on the south side. At 12:55 p.m., the officer interrupted the apparent robbery in front of an apartment building in the 1300 block of West 90th Street and produced a firearm, police said. During a struggle over the weapon, the suspected robber was shot. The suspected robber, believed to be in his 30s, was taken to Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn, where he was in serious condition, a spokesperson for the Chicago Fire Department said. The officer was taken to Little Company of Mary Medical Center in Evergreen Park with minor injuries. Fire officials said the officer was placed on routine administrative duty for 30 days. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is investigating. Well, from what it sounds like to me is it sounds like the person committing the robbery, maybe they were committing a strong arm robbery. That's why they didn't have their own gun and fired at the police officer. And that's why they went for the officer's gun. So we have a Kyle Rittenhouse situation, except I don't know if this robber is a pedophile or not, like Rosenbaum was. But anyway, that's all I got today. We're going to be linking up soon with the Rumble account, and I'm going to have a special interview for my Rumble premiere. So hang tight for that. I'm Big Time, and that's news to me.